Hi there, good morning or afternoon. This is Mr. Morgan for 7th grade Social Studies Remote Learning 813. Today we will be going over the geography core concepts, which we'll be adding to the ISN, and then we will be doing a geography vocab Quizlet. The homework for today is the About Me assignment from yesterday, which is due today at 3:30 p.m. So first you need to go to your ISN. So go and open Google Slides, find your ISN, which we did on Tuesday. Go to the table of contents, which should be page 2, and add core concepts. So it should be 1 title page, 2 table of contents, 3 core concepts. Add a new slide, and on that new slide, you're going to put up at the title core concepts, and then on the rest of the page, you're going to follow along with the rest of the video and add your definitions. Afterwards, we're going to be doing the geography vocab, which you can find in assignments on Canvas. Find the geography vocab assignment and then follow the link to Quizlet and use either the flashcards, test, or matching for the remainder of the class period. So geography core concepts. So first we need to define what is geography. Geography is the study of human and non-human features on Earth. So human features would be where people live, migration of people, and man-made features, while non-human features would be things like bodies of water, mountains, and similar geographic features. So for this, you need to add the term geography and then its definition. Okay, geography starter set. So add latitude, longitude, degrees, hemisphere, equator, and prime meridian to your list of terms. We're going to be adding vocab to our ISN today. So latitude is the distance north or south of the equator, while longitude is the distance east or west of the prime meridian, and that is measured in degrees, which is units that measure angles. Hemisphere is half of the Earth. Equator is an imaginary line at 0 degrees latitude, so in the middle, and then prime meridian is an imaginary line at 0 degrees longitude in the middle. So these are some of the basic ideas that we need to know for geography. So an easy way to remember latitude and longitude is up and down on a map, while longitude is left and right, which both are measured in degrees. Because on a globe, latitude and longitude comes together at a point at each pole, and that is measured in degrees at that point. And then hemispheres cut the world in halves along both the equator and the prime meridian. So in the middle of our map going through Africa is the prime meridian, and that cuts the hemispheres into either side. So we have the eastern hemisphere and the western hemisphere, and then likewise with the equator, we have the northern and the southern hemisphere. Okay, places in the world. If at any time you need to pause this video to get caught up on vocab words that you're writing, feel free to do that. Okay, places in the world. So there are 7 continents. Pause this video and see if you can name all 7. Okay, did you get North America, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia, and Antarctica? Okay, now there's 4 oceans. See if you can name all 4 of those oceans. Okay, that would be the Atlantic, Pacific, Indian, and Arctic. Okay, make sure that you put all the continents and the oceans because you're going to need to know that for a quiz later on, not during this, but later on next week. Okay, maps. There's 3 types of maps that we talk about. One is physical maps that show features or natural features. And one of those types of features that we may show is elevation, which is the height above or below sea level. And then there's others like political maps, which show countries or states, their borders, and capital cities. and then special purpose maps, which show the location or distribution of human or physical features. Like the different kinds of maps, there are different kinds of locations that we talk about too. So we have two kinds of locations: absolute location, which is the exact location in terms of latitude and longitude, and then relative location, which is the position of a place in relation to another place. So the difference is how we describe absolute location and relative location. So absolute location, you would look at a map and find the latitude and the longitude and follow those two coordinates to a specific spot. For relative location, you can use cardinal directions like north or south to describe it in place of another. So you could say Fort Wayne or New Haven is north of Indianapolis for relative location, where you would have to look up the latitude and longitude of Fort Wayne or New Haven to give the absolute location. Parts of a map. So these are the types of things that we would find on our maps that we'll use throughout the year. So one is a map key, which explains the lines, symbols, and colors used on a map. Then the other is a compass rose. So that is a diagram of a compass showing the direction. And then those directions are the cardinal directions: so north, south, east, and west. A locator map shows a larger area than the main map. So if we were looking at a map of Indiana, there would be a small map in the corner that would show a map of the United States and would show where Indiana is in relation to the rest of the United States or the world. And then there is a scale bar. The scale bar shows how much space on the map represents a given distance of land. So an inch on the map would be relative to a mile. So every inch going across the map would actually be 1 mile. So you could measure out with a ruler and see if it's 5 inches from one location to another. In the real world, it would be 5 miles from one place to another. So here we have our map, and down in the bottom left, we can see our scale bar, which is this black and white. And then above that, we have our map key. And then in the top right corner, we have our compass rose. But since this is a map of the entire world, there wouldn't be a locator map. But if there was a smaller one, it would show a square somewhere, or a square or a rectangle somewhere that would show this map, and then have a smaller square in it that would show where the map we were looking at is in relation to everything else. So if we look at this, we can see that there is a grid on the entire map that has coordinates on the outside. And using that, you would find the absolute location. So we could find the absolute location for Greenland by going up and seeing where it is, and seeing where it is on the left side, and bringing those to one point, and that would be the absolute location of Greenland. But you could also say that Greenland is northwest of Iceland as well for the relative location. So that is the core concepts for geography. So now we need to go back to Canvas and find our assignment page and go to the geography vocab assignment, and the rest of class you need to go through and either use flashcards, tests, or matching and practice all of the vocab words that we just went through.